It's a time of opportunities in Mexico. Mexico has undergone quite a few changes, and some people have been a little apprehensive about the changes. There'll be an election coming up federally in Mexico. But when you say that it's apprehensive, it's like a coin. The coin has two sides. The other side of that coin is opportunity. And so what we're looking at is the opportunities to acquire projects in Mexico and set them up for the next cycle. So a few forward-looking statements, we all make them, so I'll let you know that. Here, we're part of the Belcara Group. There are currently 4 companies within the Belcara Group, and I point out in this group that we were the same team that made the La Preciosa discovery, a silver-gold discovery in north-central Mexico. Why is that relevant to Orex at this time? It's because we're in the same geological trend, we're in the same rock types, so our team understands where they are in a geological sense, and they have the connections. We have an office in Durango City in the Mesa Central area, and we've been there for 20 years with various companies and setting up projects and moving them forward. Eventually, La Preciosa was sold for a significant value added to all of the shareholders. We took that one from 5 cents a share and a $700,000 capitalization, and we sold it for $2.71 a share, a 5,000% increase. We sold it for $385 million. So you can see that this is the way it should go. It doesn't always go with every company, but we have done that before. And we have some key people that have worked on these kinds of projects before, including mining engineering with Dave Gunning, who is an operating mining engineer. He's part of the team. As far as corporate structure, we're a fairly tight company. We're under 20 million shares out. And so trading right now, the options are from earlier, but within our group, we have a very strong institutional following. There's about 65% in the institutional side. Management is also involved with 15%, and the world's largest silver mining company is Fresnillo, and Fresnillo owns 3% of Orex as well, and there's a retail float of about 17%. It also, in red on this slide, it shows that there's a 2% net smelter return on a gold deposit in Sweden. Well, what that was Barcellay Minerals was part of Orex, and this is something that we've done in the past before, is taken an asset that we thought that needed some a different sort of positioning, and this was a project in northern Sweden. We spun it off and we joint ventured it with Agnico Eagle, but the net smelter return still resides in Orex, and it's something that we may monetize in the near future. We're looking at what to do with the 2% net smelter return on a good gold deposit in northern Sweden. So currently there are 4 projects. The 4 projects, 3 of them are in Mexico, 2 of them are joint ventures with 2 of the largest silver mining companies in the world. So we've got the contacts. As you can see with the previous slide, we had Agnico Eagle. We've done deals with Goldcorp, with Hecla Mining, with Pan American Silver, with Fresnillo. So we've had these kinds of joint ventures. The one I'm going to emphasize right now for this short talk is Valenciana. And it's a brand new project that we're putting together. And Valenciana is in the silver trend in Mexico. And it's something that we announced about 3 weeks ago that we were acquiring. I visited the property during the summertime. And it's one that really intrigues me, that it's something that we could assemble a land package on to move it forward. This map here, the location map, shows that we're in north-central Mexico in the heart of the silver trend. The green part there on this map is the state of Durango, but Valenciana is just off the boundary of the state of Durango in the state of Zacatecas. So we need a new map for this one. I just popped the name Valenciana into there. You'll see that there's a little red dot for La Preciosa. That was one of our discoveries, and we were Explorers of the Year in Mexico for that one. We have Sandra project towards the northwest. We have Caneto in the center. We have Valenciana in Zacatecas State. If you notice in Zacatecas State, that's also where Mag Silver has their Juanicipio. That's where Pan American Silver has La Colorada, and Fresnillo has their Fresnillo operation in Zacatecas. This is what Valenciana looks like in the field. There's my pickup truck, and there's a lot of alteration in this area. It's a project that kind of fell through the cracks, and we've managed to obtain it from a private Mexican company, Exploraciones El Cairo, and they are a company that have come to us to move this project forward. And so the rocks are very altered. We've got the heart of the Valenciana vein for about 2.4 kilometers of it, and it's begging for modern exploration. There has been a little bit of exploration in the past. In this location, you can see some old drill holes that are not drill holes, but terreros, rock piles, and some old shafts that date from back before the Mexican Revolution of 1910, so they'd be in the 1800s. There is a good opportunity here because the exploration that's been done on this, the last really serious one, was Pan American Silver in the year 1996. Now, if you know, 1997 was a big scandal on the other side of the planet. So that was one that everybody may have heard about. It's that Briex scandal. So exploration really shut down in many parts, including in this region. And so the 1996 exploration was 10 drill holes by Pan American. There were a couple of short RC holes were drilled once the exploration got going again in 2003, but that's it. You can see the foundations from the old operations that were there from before the Mexican Revolution. So the main structure is on the property that we've got. We're negotiating with the claims that are on either direction, east and west, and we have contacts with those companies because the claims that are over towards the west is our joint venture partner, Fresnillo, and it's a property that they're not doing anything with, so we'll be talking with them about combining and gaining more of the whole district. That's our plan for this, and the additional exploration projects on the property. These were some of the drill holes that were on the Pan American data, as you can see, and some of the shorter ones are from the 2003. We've got gold, we've got silver. There's also lead and zinc credits. We don't put those into the silver equivalent values, but these ore shoots have not been followed up. And so that's an instant sort of location that we can start our exploration, but there are also targets that have never been drilled on the property. Okay. Moving to the central part of Durango is the joint venture with Fresnillo called Canedo, the Canedo Gold Silver Project. A beautiful ranching country up in that area, and that's the village of Canedo de Comonfort in that photograph. A big land package there, over 5,000 hectares. It's a window of the volcanic succession, the lower volcanics around the upper volcanics. Those familiar with the geology of central Mexico will know that this is where a lot of the epithermal gold-silver systems are. And on property tours, you can actually place your hand right on the contact between the lower volcanic and upper volcanic succession, where that contact is on the switchback road. So it has a history. It's a joint venture where we have 45%, Fresnillo has 55%. There's over 450 years of exploration and mining history on the property, but a lot of the areas are still not fully tested. And Fresnillo has earned their 55%. SRK did a resource estimate on the property, and so we do have our first resource estimate there. Here's some of the Canedo gold silver values. It's about 50-50 by value on the project. Some of the holes here show that the system is continuing. We're hitting down over 400 meters below surface. Historic work was down to about the water table generally. When they were doing the earlier exploration and mining, they didn't have the technology back in the 1700s and 1800s to go much deeper. But we're seeing that some of these holes down 400 meters down the drill hole, we are hitting with gold, silver, and we see base metals are kicking in at that level. So good metallurgical recovery. Here's, we did some metallurgy on 6 of the zones. The 5 zones that were the most consistent had an average over 93% recovery in gold and up in the 80s for silver. There's one zone that's called Promontorio. It's a little different geologically speaking, and so its recovery is still climbing at the 96th hour of the metallurgy. But you can see that it's with the conventional methods, it's very straightforward. The project has 106 drill holes for 38,000 meters drilling on 12 targets. This is what the material looks like in the oxide portion. That's the upper, say, 70 or 80 meters from surface weathering and good values. This is from the Loma Verde structure. Deeper down, this is what the material looks like. And geologists will say, they look at this and they'll say, yeah, we can see that mineralization. This is where the boiling point was in an epithermal system. So it's a low to intermediate sulfidation epithermal. You also get the copper, lead, and zinc coming in, because this is a drill hole that's down of 400 meters down. And so that to me, it's beautiful, beautiful rock. So currently, enough drilling has been done on 6 zones. So that's where the resource was done, was on these 6 zones by SRK. And what we have there is in gold, it's 286,000 ounces of gold, 19 million ounces of silver. So for gold equivalent people, it's over 500,000 ounces of gold equivalent, so 538,000 ounces. Or if you think more in terms of silver, it's about 40 million ounces of silver at this stage. Is this the right fit for Fresnillo, though? I'm thinking that this would be a better fit for a mid-tier silver company. And Fresnillo, their key people and I are in discussions about how we're going to take this joint venture forward, and we may place it with a mid-tier company jointly, and that will unlock value for Orex. Now moving up to Sandra, it's the Balearis silver deposit was a discovery of our team as well. And you'll notice there's a little green dot on this screen. That green dot is a drill rig. We're cognizant of the environmental impact that we have in a project. And on that hillside, there are 64 drill holes. Can't see them because we've reclaimed each of the drill pads as we go along, and we didn't build roads in through there. We built ATV skidder tracks to bring in our equipment. That's where the Balearis deposit is. It's a 60-40 joint venture with Pan American Silver. Good team over at Pan American Silver. I really love working with those guys. So here, Balearis deposit is silver dominated. Right at surface, you notice the froms and twos. You've got really shallow depths to get to it, good thickness, and some good grades of silver right on surface. Mineralogically speaking, this property changes as you move towards the northwest, and that's where we're looking at where the next exploration should go on that property. We're in negotiation with Pan American Silver how to take it, but what we have is at surface is 33.3 million ounces of silver in a tabular disseminated silver deposit. This is what it looks like in a couple of cross sections. The geometry is pretty straightforward here. It's an interesting one to work on. Material from that property, it looks like concrete, and that's why it wasn't discovered in the past. It's because the property itself is manganese oxides and hydroxides with silver. It poses some issues, and I have to be clear about it, that the issue here is metallurgical recovery is something that's more of a challenge. But that's why the mineralogy that changes as we head towards that northwest, where the pickup truck is where the Balearis deposit is. But as you head towards the Cerro Rojo, the Red Hill, we're seeing more sulfides. So this is a big camp that needs more work on it. We have one other project. It's called Jumping Josephine. It's in British Columbia, and it's open for optioning if a company is interested in it. It's near the town of Castlegar or Trail, so it's up in that part of southeastern British Columbia. And so 40 kilometers north of Teck's smelting operation in Trail. It's Jumping Josephine Gold Project with visible gold. And that's available for optioning. So in the mineral resource summary, because some of ours are joint ventures, the part that's attributed directly to Orex currently stands at about 36 million ounces of silver. We also are involved in community engagement. We have helping farmers building their dams to work with their ranchers. We planted trees in the schoolyards because that's what the local villagers wanted. And one village wanted a new fire truck for their village. So we get involved with our local communities. Those who are looking at ESG, we're certainly aware that that's an important part of our community. So Valenciana, Coneto, Sandra, community engagement, and new acquisitions. That are really the key to Orex Minerals. So we've got the projects, we've got joint venture partners, connections, we have an established presence for 20 years in Mexico, a team that's done it before and made money for shareholders, and I say there's more to be discovered. Thank you very much.